copy out as well. So I can see that Bruce joined us as well. So Bruce, what we're talking about today in this webinar, we've got a short list of attendees so far. People tend to trickle in here, but we are going over Facebook. So using your Facebook, running ads, feeding those leads into your agent locator CRM system, but also learning a little bit more about how you can use and leverage Facebook for your business in general. So over here, you guys will see my Facebook account, or one of them, I should say. This is a secondary account I have for myself, just so I can run ads if I ever want to. Facebook is horrible if they do decide to shut down an account. It is almost impossible to prove your identity. It is easier to get a passport than it is to, convince Facebook that you are who you say you are. So most of us will have business pages set up. If you guys don't have business pages set up, I'm pretty sure in your menu, you can create a page. Okay, so you can create a business page for your business. If you're doing anything with respect to marketing or any kind of want to run any ads, you do have to have a business page. You cannot run ads through a Facebook profile. It has to be run through a Facebook page. Okay, so on your page, so one of the things that's good is if you're utilizing your Facebook page or your business page, is to mix it up between not just real estate, but also about yourself, right? So things that interest you. It could be, you're outdoor door knocking and you're in a neighborhood and you just found this lovely coffee shop, right? And maybe do like content based on this lovely coffee shop that you just encountered in this neighborhood and how great it is. It could be, maybe just that you like to go skiing or you like to go kayaking. And so expressing, posts and pictures and things like that aren't always real estate related will also help to attract individuals that share similar interests, right? It also identifies that you are a human. This isn't a page that is running listings and information. One of the more successful, and I can't recall who they are, but they have thousands of likes on their Facebook business page. It was a real estate business page. Nothing on that page was real estate related. Okay, it was all just generalized content, different things, variety of topics that people seem to express interest in. So it could be funny jokes or recipes or, events or whatever it was. And so they naturally built their real estate audience without actually doing anything real estate related with that page. So it's kind of cool. Now, once you have a page in your profile, most of you, if you do have that, you know how to get to your pages. You can create shortcuts, things like that. So one thing, I'm just going to choose this one. This is a family member's page here, just because I know there's some recent content on here, but you can boost your posts. Okay, so boosting your post, and you don't have to do anything significant with the boosting. The boosting is just bringing more awareness to an audience that doesn't like your page. Okay, so they don't have to like your page in order to see a boosted post. So you're expanding, things out there, but you can invite those people who like your content to like your page as well. Okay. So Bruce is asking, can we ask other questions in regards to CRM, or is this only for Facebook? I don't have many questions about Facebook, but you do know when we can ask related to CRM when there is a seminar. So all of our previous webinars have all been CRM related. So this has been running for, I think, 12 weeks now. So today's webinar is the Facebook. We will be touching into the CRM, Bruce. So if we do have time, absolutely, we can get to some of those questions that you have in connection to all of that for sure. You can also, if you want something more directed, you can also have a session with one of our trainers here as well. If it's something specific, to your account, that's also an option as well. So when you're boosting a post, you're simply just boosting it. You click the little boost button. All right, so you don't have to spend a lot of money to boost a post. Okay, so do you want a button on your your ad or not. So maybe you don't even want a button. You don't need someone to call you. It has nothing. Maybe it's just a motivational quote and image that you really like that you posted and you want to share it and engage with more people like that. So it's entirely up to you if you want a button on there or not. Okay, so it kind of shows you the little preview. It's a sponsored ad because it is boosted. If you're boosting something again and it has to do with real estate, it does fall into a special ad category, which is the housing category. Okay, so in this case, it doesn't. But if it's real estate related, it is relative to housing, that sort of thing. Now you can choose your audience, right? So who you want to see this. So even if you want just the people who like your page to see what it is that you're advertising, more than just maybe just happening to see that post, you can choose those. You can also choose people who like your page, but are also similar to those types of people. They share similar interests or qualities or engagement, history, things like that. If you are choosing an audience in here, you want to be careful about limiting your audience, especially if it is under the housing category. Facebook does not like if you are discriminating against someone because they don't live in an area that you target. It's sometimes a little bit ridiculous, but it's the new way that they like to do things. So just keep that in mind. It also, when you are running real estate related posts and things like that, you have to keep your audience open. It has to be from 18 to 65. Okay. Most 18-year-olds aren't going to click on boosted posts about real estate. So we thought that this was going to be a big deal. It actually isn't a big deal. Things like that. And then you can choose your audience. In this case, it's Canada. You can choose a specific area. So for example, if you wanted to just target Toronto, the city of, you can do so. When you have that pin, you can change it to whatever radius you want. If it is in the housing category, and we're going to go over this when we kind of look at building an ad. If it is in the housing category, your radius has to be 15 miles surrounding, at least. It can be bigger than that. It has to be at least, or it won't get approved. Okay? Again, they don't want you to discriminate against people that don't live in Toronto. Kind of funny, but that's how it is. Now, you can also do detailed targeting as well, right? So if you wanted to pick specific people that expressed interest in maybe certain activities, so you can start typing like bicycle, right? People that like cycling, and maybe you really like, and maybe you're doing something funny with a bike and you've got a for sale sign on your back. I don't know. You may want to target people who have expressed interest in cycling. So those are some ways that you can cater your ads to specific audiences that may share similar interests to you as well, because those are the ones, when you do connect with them, you naturally have something in common that you can talk about. So you could do that. And then as you're going down, let me just move my controls. I can't see. Why is it not letting me? There we go. So then we can save this audience if we want to, kind of go through there. You then are going to choose what you want to spend. Okay, so when you're boosting a post, you can, I think they've raised it, used to be able to do $1 a day boosts, right? So you can run it for $1 a day. So let's say if you're running 7 days, you would have to, so it'll allow you to reach, you can do 7 days, $10. That might be the lowest it's going to allow you to do. Yeah, so you have to spend at least $1.30 a day in order to do it. So you're looking at about $10 if you're doing a 7-day to get in the front. Now you can do less days as well, right? It's going to tell you how many people are actually going to see that boost and potentially engage in it. Okay. Once that's all done, if you have a pixel and all that stuff, you can choose the placements, right? So maybe you want your ad to run on Facebook and on Instagram. You can do that. Or maybe you just want it on Facebook. You don't want it on Instagram. You can just do it that way. Now, you will have a payment method. This will be connected to your business account once you have all of that set up. and then all you would do is literally click boost now. Okay, so that boosts that post, gets it in front of more people, and you're building your audience naturally. Now, again, Facebook keeps changing stuff around. So I'm going to try to show you where they have it, where you can actually see who's actually engaged in your ad. So I'm just going to go to the back to this page, and it might be in publishing tools. Okay, so your publishing tools. I don't know if this is, why is this just like that? Can do it. Let's see if it does it for me. So not this one. I might come back to this just because it isn't always as simple as that. And so, okay, I don't want to do this. They keep changing. I'm going to put a video together for you guys, because what you can do is once somebody does like your post or whatever it might be, you will be able to invite those individuals to actually like your page. Okay, so there's a purpose to them, excuse me, boosting those posts, because you're able to do that. Right, so I'm going to find a video. I'm going to send it to you guys afterwards in the with the Zoom recording that you guys all get. I'll also make sure that she does it as well with respect to the YouTube upload and what have you. Okay, because that's one of the things we want to boost the post, that we want to invite these people to like our page, so we're naturally increasing our page size. Okay, so again, they keep changing all their beta suites here. But now what we want to be doing is going into, I'm going to go back into Facebook just so I can get to that page, how you guys would typically be seeing Facebook. And you're going to go into your ads manager is really what you want to be doing. So this is where you want to, when you want to be creating an ad, to generate leads into your agent locator CRM system. Okay. Once you're in here, creating an ad isn't overly difficult. Okay, it's not overly difficult. It's knowing, setting it up into a sense that your lead cost isn't going to be insanely high, but you do sometimes have to test and run it out to see if that is going to be a thing. So when we create an ad, we are, it's going to ask what kind of ad you want to be running. Right? Do we want to be running a traffic campaign? So a traffic campaign is if you have a URL, maybe it's a URL to a listing that's on your website, and you want to, drive traffic to that listing on your website, then that would be a traffic campaign. Okay. If you want to generate leads using the lead forms on Facebook, you would run a leads campaign. So in this case, we're going to do a leads campaign. Then you're just going to go continue. Now from here, you can give your campaign. So new leads let's just call it, leads. I'm going to call it, I'm going to go Toronto condos. What I'm going to do, we are putting it into a category. So this is a housing category. Okay, we are in Canada. And then you're doing auctions, your leads, you're going to just go next. There's nothing really else that you need to do. Now, once in here, you're doing the instant form. So this is, again, when you guys are on Facebook and you naturally see an ad and you click on it and there's a form that automatically populates and it all of a sudden magically has all your information in there. That's the instant form. So that's what we're going to go for on this one. We want them to fill out that form on Facebook and feed them into your page. Now, you'd pick the page that you're running the ad from. I don't know which one I have in here. This one here. There we go. So I'm running it on through this page is the one that I'm running the ad through. Okay, so yours would show your pages and your options there. Sometimes there is terms, right? So there's always going to be terms. If this is your first time, you will have to accept those terms. We're not selecting a category. And then you're going to put your daily budget. Okay, so when you're running ads on Facebook, try to aim for at least $5 a day. When you're doing that, that's kind of the minimum that you're going to want to spend to really see any kind of results in here. And I don't encourage that you set an end date. Okay, so you can always turn your ads off, right? There's a toggle to turn it off. The last thing you want happening to you is you set a date for an end date and your campaign is running phenomenal and then it stops because you just wanted to test it out. Then when you turn it back on, it's not necessarily going to get that same momentum again. You might have just shut the door on yourself and it could be hard to get that back. So I always, encourage that you leave it open because you can always turn it off at any time, okay? Now, this is where, again, you get to change and choose your audiences. So similar to when you were boosting that post, if you have existing audiences, because you can save audiences for yourself if you have them. So you're always targeting that same audience, you can do that. But again, same idea. You're going to edit your area. You can change it to people who are living and are recently in, or if they're only living in this location or recently in. It really, again, depends on what the purpose of your ad is for. And then you could, again, add the area. So if we were going to just do Toronto again, just as an example, you're able to see that it's going to default for that 15 miles and you're going to keep it that way. You're going to leave the 18 to 65 and you can try to, you can edit the detailed targeting. In here is not, well, it might call me a liar, but last time I did this, it's not the same as when you're boosting a post because you're in a specific category right now. So I can't, it's trickier to target people. You can target people who have interest in real estate for sure, but you also may be targeting a lot of realtors with your ad when doing that. You can also be targeting first-time buyers, right? So it's interesting how when you're running an ad this way versus boosting a post, what your options are. Boosting, it seems to give you a little bit more opportunity to be a little more specific, whereas this it's not as open. Now you have the option of where your ad is going to be placed. So Facebook recommends that you have automatic placement. You can do manual placements as well. Okay, so we don't have anything like that. If you wanted to boot brand safety, it's not necessary, but you can do manual placement. So if you want to be specific as to where your ad is placed, is it going to show up in the feeds, in the stories, in the stream? If you're doing automatic placement, it's going to put it anywhere that ad fits to get it across, in view of as many people as possible. So I'm going to actually move that back to automatic. All right. So we're going to leave this. We'll get most of your budget and the bid strategy. They're going to try to do this if you put an amount in, but it's not necessary. So you can always run 2 tests, 2 campaigns if you ever wanted to, and have one where they have the goal, and then one that you just leave open and see if there's any difference. Again, it's relative as well to how many people are also running campaigns in that area and the target that you're going after. So now I would not pay attention to this, okay? Simply because it's never accurate. It's never accurate. You could be saying here that it's 0, you're going to get 0 leads from this, and then you end up getting leads coming in at $4 a lead. Okay, so you're getting however many leads, say 30 leads a month off of it. So this I've found has never been. It'll also tell you a little bit about your audience definition, right? If you're being too specific or too broad as well. So right here we are in defined. It's going to give you that the same as how I mentioned down here. You're then just going to go next. Now you're giving your ad a name because you can run one ad here and then have multiple different ad sets running under the same campaign if you wanted to. So you can call it. So I'll just call it Toronto Condos again. Toronto Condos, and the page you're doing. If you want it to run on Instagram, you're going to select which Instagram account you're running it on. If you selected that in one of the previous steps in there, And now you're going to create your ad, right? So you have options here. Sometimes you can use an existing post. In my case, I don't have a post that has a form, so I can't do that. But you can. So you can run an ad with a post that you've made. So you don't always have to boost a post. You can actually run an ad with that post as well. You also have the ability of creating with a single image or a video, or you can have a carousel. So a carousel, again, is those ones where it's multiple different photos. So this is great when you're advertising a listing and you want to give them a snapshot of the front of the house, the kitchen, the master bedroom, things like that. I've also had individuals do it where they're targeting a specific area of listings, and they want to kind of target, you know, here are the top 3 luxury listings right now in the Toronto area. So different things like that. So I'm just going to choose a single image. Now, when you have your media, you're going to choose your media. You're going to add an image. Now, when you do this, you can, I don't know why it does. They used to be able to select all the stock photos. So why it doesn't do it? So I'm just going to choose a random photo that I have and use that one if it allows you or allows me to. So that one's giving me a smaller, maybe just it's a small icon tile. So it'll give you the warning on the dimensions. So we want it to be 6 by 6. This one isn't. I don't want to spend too much time trying to find an image that's going to fit all the ads in there, but you have to have it as 6 by 6. So here it'll just kind of show you where it is if you want to crop or replace certain images, right? So if I want to replace this image with a different image for instant articles or reels or what have you, you can have separate images for that and then go done. So now that the ad is showing you there, that's the image that's essentially going to be used for the ad. Now, as you're going down here, your primary text is what's going to show right here. Okay, so you can do sign up for, let's say, condos in Toronto under, and you can put a price point. That's not ideal. Let's do 800. 100,000. So whatever you think that, again, is realistic. So the more realistic your offering is, the more likely people are going to engage in it. Do not bait and hook, otherwise you're going to get a ton of tire kickers. People that were just clearly wanting to see the one thing that you were trying to offer, but instead you end up getting them all like they have no interest. So one example of this is another company out there that ran Facebook ads. Used to, and I don't know if they still do, run an ad saying, sign up to receive a list of luxury homes or the top 10 luxury homes in your neighborhood. It wasn't doing that. It was setting everyone up to receive all the listings out there. So that's a bait and hook ad, right? People are thinking they just want to see these luxury listings and then they're set up for everything. So they don't necessarily have a genuine interest, right? So trying to find a target that's realistic as to what people may actually be looking for. Now, I do have a tool that I will share with you guys as well. It is a font, a bold, capitalized. It's for social media. So you can actually add bolded font, right, in there. You know, you can go search thousands. Oops, that's not right. Thousands of condos daily. So then you can just copy this, right? So whether you copy or copy, and when we are creating that ad, when you're actually pasting it in here, it actually comes up as being bold. Okay. For anyone that wants to, so you do have, you know, you can add emojis in here as well. There is the shortcut, which is if you have a Windows computer, is you hold the Windows and the period, and it'll pull up the alternate essential list of emojis that you can use in here. So we'll just kind of, I don't know, find one that's kind of like a condo. That's kind of like a condo. I think that's a hospital, but that's okay. So you can throw emojis in there trying to attract, try not to put too many emojis in there, but definitely the font of having a bold font will, you know, draw attention to it as well. Now your short, your headline is, if I can pull down, there we go, is what you're going to see right here. Okay, so that bold font that you always see right there. So we can just see, you know, condos in Toronto under 800K. So if we scroll down here, you're going to see condos in Toronto under 800K. You can even throw emojis in there too, if you really wanted to. Now you have your description if you wanted to. The description is when there's always that little blurb, that little write-up that you kind of sometimes see in there. You can put it there if you want to. You don't have to. It's optional, right? The call to, you know, the other one, the headline and the primary text are required. The description is optional. You can also choose the call to action. So on here, we could see that it's sign up. So you can do, you know, learn more, download, get offer, you know, subscribe, whatever it is, right? So if we do subscribe, you can put that in there, and then there you have it. Now, this is where you're going to create a form, okay? So when you create a form, especially when you're going to be feeding leads into your agent locator CRM system, you want to use a different form for each ad you're running. Okay, because when you're setting it up in your system, in your CRM system for these leads to feed in there, that is based off of a form you use. So if you use the same form across multiple ads, but all those ads are different, the system's going to set them all up based on the one form type that you indicate, the one integration type. So always having a different one. Once you have it, you can duplicate. So if it's easy and you just want to duplicate one, whatever you call it, it might be easy for some of you, but it's not too difficult, okay? So you just create your form name. It's going to tell you everything you need to do, right? So I'm going to testing form, I'm just going to call it 1, 2, 3. We want more volume, okay? You can do the higher intent, but you're not going to get as many people signing up, right? So a lot of people, we just don't want to fill out a whole bunch of information. The more volume is just going to get you more leads. You have your intro, so you can use that. So the intro is kind of like what you're going to see in here, right? So listings are condos. All right, then you kind of go down there. The description, you know, sign up to receive. So you want to tell them, I'm just going to go dot, dot, dot. You want to tell them what they're doing, what they're signing up for when they're in here. You also have your questions, right? So it's automatically pulling full name in here, but we also want to add a question. And okay, why I want, never mind. Again, this is where pre-filled. Okay, so you're not asking a question if they're using contact and you're doing phone number. Okay, and I personally like moving the full name first. So it's the name is at the top, and then you've got the email, phone number, right? So you can move things around however you see fit in there. Now the description, you will need this. You need to tell people how you're going to be using their information. Okay, so Facebook is going to, you have to tell them what you're doing with that information and why they're giving it to you. So you can let them know that, like, sign up to receive listings in Toronto. Just keeping this short, I don't want to spend too much time of the nitty-gritty things. Now with the privacy, so you're going to want to include a link to the privacy policy. This privacy policy is the one of the site that is your automated lead gen site. Okay, so whether it's your branded site, your unbranded site, it's the privacy policy that you're going to find in there. So if I open up this website and just go to that, and if you just scroll to the bottom, you're going to see that privacy policy. You just copy it, and that's what you're going to throw in here. Okay, so they need to have, this is required for doing that. And I'm just going to see. So once they've done the completion, you're kind of saying, you know, what happens after they fill out the form, like the thank you message, right? You can visit the website now, or you can do different call to actions. So you can call business or whatever it might be that you want them to do. If it is a view website, you can bring them right into your website. So they go right in there right away, entirely up to you. But you can put whatever you want in here to get somebody to, you know, maybe you want them to view your website or maybe you don't. So I'm going to put the link for the view website. So I'm just going to take off the privacy policy and I'm going to publish this form. There we go. So now we're using testing form 1, 2, 3. So I was saying she missed where we get the privacy. So you're going to open up your lead gen website. Okay, so whatever your automated website, and then at the bottom of your website in the footer, you're going to see a privacy policy. So you'll always see this generally in the bottom of your website. There should be a link as to the privacy policy in there. If you can't get it to pop up there, you can also on your website, when you go to look at a listing, there is the privacy policy that we also include in this little link, this little blurb here before somebody creates an account. Now, so now we've got the ad created, okay? So the ad is created, the form is there, everything is done. I'm not going to publish it because I do not want this to run, okay? But what we're going to do now is actually set up the CRM system to be able to feed these leads right into the CRM system, okay? So how you're going to do that is in your system, and then we're going to test the form, okay? So we'll test the form so you can see how all that works. So in your CRM system, you're going to go to your Facebook integration. And this is where you would essentially set everything up, okay? So you have it there. Now, one thing you're going to want to do specifically is create a source for these leads. So again, if you're running multiple Facebook ads, you want to differentiate, is this my Toronto condo ad? Is this my Pickering ad? Is this my Newmarket ad? Whatever it is, you want to be able to differentiate exactly where this lead, how they came about through Facebook, right? So how you can add a source is you just go over here to sources, add a source, and then let's just call it Facebook Toronto condos, okay? And you save that. And so now you have that source created in here. So I'm going to go back into our Facebook integration now. Now, with respect to you, if you haven't already, you're just basically adding your Facebook account. Okay, you're just adding it in there. And then you're adding a new integration in here. So you're going to select the page that you set it up from. And then you're going to select the form that you used. Okay, so we're going to use the testing form 1, 2, 3. Now, this is where you get to set up what happens in the CRM system when this individual signs up on your website. Okay, so if we're running an ad and we're trying to get these buyer leads, the lead type is likely a home buyer, wherever that one is. There we go. Now, the source we're going to indicate is that testing or that Facebook buyer condo buyers. I don't know where it's going to put it. And I'll have to find it. Give me 1 second. Condos under, there we go. So we have that one there. Now we also get to decide, okay, if these people are signing up on Facebook to get listings, we probably want to fulfill that offer to these people relatively, right away. People are not patient. They want things when they ask for them. So that's where we're going to set up what happens in addition to us just labeling these to get them set up to receive listings from you automatically. So we're going to choose Toronto as the city, okay? Now, we did do a type of home, so this is condo specific, so we're going to get sure that everyone that signs up is going to get a condo listings. We also want to choose which website they're going to get those listings from. If you only have one lead gen site, it's only going to give you one option with that. And I would always encourage a minimum price point of $100,000. Okay, this is going to exclude all the parking spots and potentially leases that may be popping into there as well. So we don't need to put a max price, or if you want to, actually it is under 800. So let's just go 801. And There we go. So that's your max price. So they're going to be set up. All the leads that sign up through that form are going to now be set up in the system to receive listings in Toronto that are condos under 800,000. Okay. Now you can get specific as well, and you can do multiple cities. Okay. So you're not just limited to one. So if it's like a GTA or Greater Vancouver, whatever, Calgary area, wherever you guys are, you can comma separate them. Okay, comma separate, no spaces. And same for the communities. You comma separate them. They have to be board specific communities. So how you guys are seeing them as if you're setting someone's searches up, not necessarily how the consumer refers to them as. Basically, the actual board communities. Now down here, you have an option to send listings right away, yes or no. Okay. And again, keep in mind, guys, you don't have to send people listings if you don't want to. You could just be generating leads for a different purpose. You don't have to send everyone listings. Okay. So you just wouldn't set up any of the aspects with respect to that. But if you are essentially going to be sending somebody listings, you have two options here, yes and no. If you go send listings right away and you go yes, it's almost instant. Okay, the person fills out that form on Facebook and it is almost instant that they have the first email with listings in their inbox. Okay, if you go no, it's going to delay those listings by 20 minutes. Okay, so where this is beneficial in some cases is maybe you're advertising a specific listing and you're trying to generate leads for that listing, of course. So one of the things that I've helped someone do in the past is they advertise that specific listing, but also set them up to receive similar homes in that area, right? So that was kind of the intent. We don't want to just kind of lose it through one property. We want to get them looking at all the properties ultimately. So you would delay it. It gives you time to have a campaign that you can automatically assign to that lead, where maybe the first action in the campaign is an email with a link or information about that listing, but also letting them know that you're going to be sending them, you know, additional properties as well, should this one not be quite what you were looking for. So it's a different way that you can kind of leverage, you know, your advertisements to work more than just one property there. So I'm going to save this as yes. Now, again, when you are running these, similar to when you have a lead registering on your website, you may be wanting to run an ad or like an SMS or an email campaign or some sort of campaign as well to these individuals as soon as they register. So, and we're not going to go through creating a campaign, but we'll go through how you would do that, how you would assign it. So let's just pretend I want this one here. This is the campaign that I want to automatically run. Not this one because it's empty. Let's just delete that one. Well, we'll do this one. We want this campaign to run automatically just by somebody filling out my Facebook form. So all you're going to do is go edit, automatic assignment, and then you would do on registration and imports. And this is where you would change your source. You would choose that source that you created, the Facebook Toronto condo. So anyone then registering that comes in off this source is going to be automatically thrown onto this campaign. Okay, so your first text message, for example, on a Facebook where you're advertising for them to sign up for listings could just be a simple thank you. You know, you should have the listings in your email. You know, I'll follow up with you in a day or so just to see what you think, whatever it is. So you can go and then you just set it. Okay, so now everyone that signs up on that Facebook form is going to be put onto this campaign, and they're also automatically fed into the CRM system, and they're going to be getting listings from you. Now, what you're going to want to also do is you're testing your form. So Facebook, I'm going to have to find it. Leads ad testing tool. So it's this one. Again, I will include these links as well, so you guys have them for easy access in here. So when you're testing your form, and this may create some hiccups for us, okay, because I have so many different email combinations I've used in the training CRM system. So sometimes it can be tricky for me to try to find an email that I have not used yet. Okay, but you're going to choose your page when you do it, and you're going to choose the form, right? So this is the one we created, and we want to preview that form. So here's the form, and that is completed. It's auto-filled with information. Now the system recognizes an email based on duplication, right? So if I use the same email that probably is already in the system, it's going to, the lead won't be created. It's going to skip over that lead. So I'm just going to try to think, and it doesn't have to be a real email address, okay, thankfully, for Facebook. I don't know. There we go. So now that we've done this, I'm going to cross my fingers because Murphy's Law, this thing won't work when we're always live and people are watching. We're going to go next and we're going to submit. Okay, so this is kind of like treating as the lead. They're going to view the website if they care to. So now what we're going to do is actually see, and I think it did work. If we go in here, we're going to see there is that lead. Okay, so there's the lead that we just created. So this lead was created with all the information that they filled out the form. We can see that they're a home buyer. We can see that they have that unique source. We can see that they're set up to receive listings between 100 and 800,000 or 801,000. They were just active because the email just came in, and I've already got 2 emails sent to me. I've already got the account activation and that first listing email. So as I said, when somebody fills out that form, it is almost instant that they're going to get those listings. So when you go in here as well, you can also look at the e-campaigns. This one's triggered because obviously it's for all the leads coming in, but this is the one that we did, so it would auto assign, right? So that we just did on here. So now all the leads. So that's how there's a lot of steps involved with respect to doing, creating your ads. If you guys do go into Facebook and you start to build out an ad, you don't have to publish it. So as you can see here, you don't have to publish that ad right away. I can just close it, and I'm just going to close it. Now it's a draft, right? So it's a draft. It's not on. You can go back in, and it is not running in any way, shape, or form. But this is also where you can turn off the ad. So when you're running that ad, where we're running it continuously, you have full control to just say, nope, I want to turn that off now. Okay, so that's how you would set that up. There's a lot of steps involved, as I said. So if any of you guys, go ahead and you want to try creating your ads, or you're not sure, some of you might get like your ad wasn't approved. Typically, the majority of the culprit is the category wasn't properly selected. If you're running seller ads, you can no longer request somebody's address, which is kind of creates a little bit more work for you. Before you used to be able to get that from somebody, but now you can't. So if those are like the most common culprits, or the target area, right? People are limiting it to just a postal walk or like just that city, or they're closing down the age groups. It's usually relevant to the housing category and some of the compliance things that are overlooked when you're creating the ad as to why it wouldn't run. So that's typically, so we can take a look at that, but then also, helping you set up your CRM system should you want to do that, so that these leads feed in there, whatever it is. It's one of those things where once you kind of walk through it yourself and you go through the actions yourself, 1 to 2 times, it just kind of clicks, and you remember the process in there. Just remember the process. Now, I know that, I don't know if he's still on here. Does anyone have any questions before we kind of jump and kind of go through anything that you might be in here, or any questions about what you just saw on there? Yes, there are. So I was just saying there's a lot of steps. The biggest step, that again, once you know what you're doing, the great thing as well is campaigns, you can just clone them and just change ad or change wording, change what have you. So that step you can, move along pretty quickly. Once you know how to create the ad, the whole setup will take you like 15, 20 minutes to set that up. And it can be a very fulfilling thing to yourself to be able to generate business for all different things, right? Or leads for all different things in your system, for sure. I am going to try to figure out that, though, the insights for you guys, because that's something that I used to always do. And again, like I said, Facebook loves to change everything all the time, all the time. So makes it a little bit annoying. I'll tell you that much. Is there a step-by-step cheat sheet? Yes, maybe. I'm going to have to look. I know a lot of, so there is one place that you can go to, and that's your training.agentlocator site. Once you're in here, if you go to the courses section, there is a Facebook section here. Okay. So this section here kind of goes, from the basics, setting up your business page, your ads account. Okay. Setting up your first Facebook ad and understanding the remarketing ads on using Facebook Pixel. So this is more of those step-by-step process for you. Okay. And I think they also have, you can find images for Facebook here. So we have provided you guys with images that you can even use if you wish to when running your ads. One thing that you want to, if you are running ads on Facebook, like I tried to use an image. Oh, so I was just in here beforehand and I was doing something and I tried to use an image that was just like all like sticky notes with whatever. You cannot, Facebook will scan, you cannot have too many like words in your images. Okay, so if it's primarily text is the image, Facebook won't approve it. Okay, so it's kind of like, because I think a lot of it is, again, a lot of people will run things with, trying to, I think, maybe fool Facebook because they know what they're trying to post isn't going to be allowed. So Facebook kind of said, nope, can't do that, can't do that, and kind of go from there. I am, all right, I'm just trying to see here. If I have anything. Was there any other questions that I could answer for you guys? In here? Not right now. Perfecto. Again, I am totally trying to find this thing for you guys because it's difficult with respect to that that publishing tool. So I'm going to find that publishing tool for you guys with respect to being able to invite those people to your pages because it is very beneficial when you are boosting posts or doing anything and people are liking the page. I'm pretty sure it's in the publishing tools, but again, this one has changed. On my other computer, it's showing something different. And then the other one, it's not showing anything. Let's just say this here. Let's see if there's what else. So 14 reactions. It doesn't allow me to click. So they've changed the way it views. My other one is different. I can invite it. So I'll find that for you guys. I apologize that I wasn't able to show you that, but I will send it out. I'll make sure it's also in the YouTube video, in the write-up, as well as in the Zoom email that you're all going to receive tomorrow. There will be another clip in there, a short clip on showing you guys from after like boosting a post, the people that have engaged or liked or loved or even shared it, you can invite them all to your page. So I'll send that all off to you. And then if you guys, again, if you need any help with, trying to configure your own ads and learning, and you just need a second eyes on it to make sure you're kind of hitting a roadblock, by all means, reach out. I'd be more than happy to assist you with getting that going. But I'll leave it at that for today. And I want to thank all of you for participating. And again, reach out if you need any help. You guys are most welcome.